The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Brian Haynes alongside today. And oh boy, I hope you got lucky and got some gas. What the hell? Oh God, I am really sick and tired of people, and I'm really sick and tired of forgetting to cut off my damn speaker here.
It happens. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the gas apocalypse.
I'm frazzled as shit because this is not going well. What? I don't even know where to begin. Where this all started yesterday. Jesus, I got off the air with the ESPN Asheville show yesterday, Jeremy and I, at about 5:20. I got a phone call from my mom saying, hey, your uncle says stay off of Lester Highway because it's a madhouse right now because everybody's trying to get gas. And I went, wait, what? There's a gas shortage on?
Yep. We are in the middle of a gas shortage.
Look, stop with the hoarding of the gas. I don't understand this. When you find out that there's going to be a gas shortage, this is not your opportunity to go out and get as much fucking gas as possible because the apocalypse is coming and this is Armageddon and this is what they've all been scaring us into. It's going to be cats and dogs living together, just nightmares all over the place. Please, for the love of God, for those of us who actually needed gas yesterday, we got fucked.
Create mass hysteria. Everybody and their brother needs to go get gas. You got assholes filling up 14,000 gas tanks and sticking in their back tank. I want to shoot every single one of these people. If you are the dickhead, I'm going to be very clear here. If you are the dickhead filling up 10 fucking things of gasoline to put in the back of your car, I hope you smoke cigarettes in that car. I hope that you hit a flash and somehow plug and you burn up the desk.
Oh, the gas shortage is on. Everybody hears we might have a limited supply of gas, and everybody freaks the fuck out. And I've been trying to rack my brain. How should we handle this? How should this be handled? Should the pipelines just say, you know what? If there's going to be an interruption, we just don't report it.
I feel like we should have had some sort of solution to the problem before creating mass hysteria.
Right.
When you tell people that there's a shortage, it's automatically going to create mass hysteria.
Yeah.
We can say, hey, we got hacked. We're working on our solutions. We're working on these things. I just feel like they maybe came out with the word shortage a little too quickly because then the shortage happens, and then we do have a shortage. Because everybody goes and gets gas, and nobody can get to work. Nobody can get to work. Can't get the kids to school.
I had to ditch my car last night because I was actually on empty when I left the radio station. And by the time I drove and found that there was no gas, I was well below empty. So I had to stash my vehicle, get my wife to come and pick me up, and so I could drive the minivan around for a few days. So thanks for that hit to my manhood. Jesus.
So it's just, I'm lucky enough that I had a half a tank of gas. But I'm sitting yesterday, I was telling the guys this morning I had to go take my dog to the vet, poor guy, had a pretty bad ear infection. But I'm sitting in the parking lot, air conditioning blowing, cars on. I have no idea there's a shortage at this point. And it's just like, now that I realize what's happening, I could have just turned the car off and probably saved a little bit of gas. But no, I'm just sitting there blasting the AC so that I can just run gas all the way down. And it's just...
Kevin Vick says they should have double masked all the servers.
Oh.
Because that stops all viruses.
Oh. Oh, boy.
Hit that Kevin Vick memorial bell.
100%.
Good job.
Oh.
Good job. I'm so sick of people.
Yeah.
And like I'm sitting there with my parents last night waiting on my wife to come pick me up, and I'm having the conversation with them. I just genuinely hate people.
Yeah.
I can't, and there's no way to get around it. They're like, oh, well, that's not a good outlook to have on life. It's not. But people make me fucking insane.
I don't care anymore. My hatred is outgoing. I can't do it anymore. I don't know if you guys realize this about me, but I'm kind of a high-tempered, a little bit. little bit anxious, kind of weird, kind of crazy dude.
Just a tad.
Things like this just tend to, set me off just a little bit. I tend to lose my ever-living mind.
Right.
But
at least the sane ones of us know how to handle this situation. And you know what? If you need gas, go get gas. If you don't need gas, don't go get it.
Yeah.
Because everybody else needs it.
Yeah.
You're creating the problem. And we all know this. And I know our fans and our viewers are smarter than that.
Yeah.
Good God almighty. Anywho, we got no gas, but there's lots of gas being thrown in Major League Baseball.
Lots of gas.
Lots of gas. Oh. There we go.
Yeah.
We will get into the kind of the state of Major League Baseball right now. ESPN put out this article yesterday that was just based on the state of baseball and the questions that Major League Baseball is facing and all this. But I wanted to talk about this anyway because of the increase in we're seeing an increase like never before in major statistical categories in baseball right now. Home runs are up, which is great for the game, in my opinion. But so are strikeouts.
Yes.
Strikeouts are way up as well.
Yeah, and I think I have somewhat of a reason for that when we get into this topic.
All right. But, I guess it's just baseball. You kind of get into that situation of guys know what's going to make them money. They know the way to become a star is to keep hitting dingers and get yourself on ESPN every night. Yep. And that's the big way to the big contracts. I think it's kind of a baseball's own pandemic right now because I think it is hurting the game, and that's why staunch baseball fans don't really like the state of the game right now because there is no, there's strategy to the game obviously, but there's not as much strategy as there used to be. No, you're not seeing station to station baseball. Nope. You're not seeing smart plays. Nope. Come out of this, it's everybody swinging for the fences, and then you got some teams who won't even swing for the fences when they're down big in games. Yeah. Did you see this?
They're laying down bunts down 13 because baseball.
I thought it was very so the Dodgers were playing the Angels, and the Dodgers are up 13 runs, and while they're down 13 runs. Yeah, they decided to Taylor Ward tried to bunt a hit. Even Dave Roberts and Clayton Kershaw were both like, that's the fucking stupidest thing I've ever seen. It's like you're not even trying. Yeah. Which makes it even worse because guess what? Later in the ball game, the Angels were able to come back in that game. Yeah. And you know what? I think they ended up losing by 2 runs. Could have used that at bat. Yeah, but it was funny because it was just a couple days ago, the actual tourist game, they were down like 16-1 going into like the final inning, and actually ended up hitting 2 grand slams and getting within a run of them in the 9th inning. And it's like, I don't think they were bunting before that. None of those guys were bunting. No. So some things. Just when I had this. I was like, this year I missed baseball a bit last year. I just missed the thing. I was kind of getting excited for a little bit of it. I was going to pay a little bit more attention to it. Not only because, I'm joined into a wonderful sports talk show with you guys. Right. But just because I'm a sports fan, I'm a baseball fan. I wanted to see something different. And I've seen it just be on a even worse, steep decline and unwatchable product that is just a pile of dog shit that is steaming. It's like the steam coming out of it from like the cartoons, and it's just trying to waft you into it. It's got the little see finger. The poop. Right. Oh, the poop that baseball is. It's real bad. Okay, if we're getting into this, let me get into this. Yeah, absolutely.
So here's the thing. In the years past, hitters would like to work counts. They'd look for their pitch. They would have. They know what kind of pitch this guy would get. They know they can work a count. You'd see 3-2 counts, 3-2 counts, 3-2 counts a lot.
Right.
You would work the pitcher, the starting pitcher, so you can get him out of the game and you can get into the bullpen. You don't see that anymore. These guys are up there swinging at first pitches, they're swinging at, and this is what happens when you bring analytics into the ballgame. Not only that, we also have players, you got 9 goddamn players on one side of the field because there's a left-handed hitter on, and you can't figure out any other way. And it's just, so there's less base hits, there's less things. So then, you're baseball, right? You're coming off of a year where you didn't have fans in the stands, you didn't have anything, no people were like, oh, blah, 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 baseball. What do you do? You deaden the baseball. You deaden the baseball.
Yep.
So the one thing that people like to come to your sport to find, because we've said it before, chicks love the long ball, okay? You deaden the ball, so not only that, so you have guys going up there to swing for the fences, but they don't have enough power to get it over the fences because the ball's traveling 15 feet fewer. We have more home runs, but that's because everybody and their brother is swinging for the damn fences.
Yep.
It's just one remarkable dumbass move after remarkable dumbass move. Then you have these things about the pitchers and how many pitches they can play, how many pitches they can do. Again, I understand a lot of this is wanting to shorten the damn game. By doing this, all these things, we're not making a better product. We're making a worse product.
Right.
So all these people who are saying, oh, baseball's too long to watch, baseball's too long to watch. You're doing things and they're not working, in my opinion. They're not working at all. You have these teams that are just, I can't deal with it anymore. I'm just ready to throw in the fucking tank. I can't deal with it.
You're getting done with baseball?
I'm getting to the point to where I'm getting close to thinking about being done with baseball.
Look, and Patrick Holt makes a great point. There is one team that's still playing station-to-station baseball, and that's the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah.
And we see what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Do you see what happens when you actually have a team that, embraces forward movement in the game? You don't stagnate. You're always pressing. You're always looking for the open hole. You're always looking for what's the best thing for the team to move forward. And you're right. I mean, Patrick, that's the reason last week in 5 games, the Boston Red Sox had scored 45 runs.
Yeah, they're doing it right. They're moving the guy ahead, They're going first to third. They're trying to hit the ball the other way to advance the runner from first to third. I don't have any problems with guys down on the lower part of the lineup that aren't home run hitters, that are taking a bat away. Right. If a guy gets on base, what happened to bunting that guy ahead to second base?
Right.
Putting him in scoring position. There's none of that anymore. These are things that we learned in freaking Little League, and we're not doing it in Major League Baseball. It's just, I've seen better play on a beer league softball league on a Sunday afternoon in the middle of the fall.
Right. Now, is there an argument to be made, though, that the pitching is better than it used to be?
I think that because the batters have gone away a couple years ago, basically what they were doing was we were doing these 3-2 count. We were working the count. We were doing this, and they were putting pitchers out of the game doing this. Now we've gone to this whole long ball thing, swinging for the fences, and these guys, the pitchers are just eating it up.
Yeah.
Because they know that look at a guy like Means the other night who threw the no-hitter. He throws a 95 mile per hour fastball, and then he hits you back with an 80 mile per hour changeup, and you can't hit him.
Yep.
Because you're not looking for that pitch. You're not preparing for these pitches, and he's just eating you alive. Because you're not able to work these counts, you got to work the counts early. You got to say, hey, let's get him up here. We might not get to him in the first 3 innings, but that second time around, we're going to get to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're going to work his count. We're going to make him pitch that second time around. And then you get into the bullpen. And then you start working these guys. And then if you're in the bullpen, you can't have these, left-hander specialty guys come out and pitch anymore because they have to pitch half the goddamn inning now, or 3, whatever the rule is.
Yeah, they got to pitch to 3 batters.
They got to pitch to 3 batters now. So you're taking away a lot of these things.
But that's a good thing, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't want 3 pitching changes in an inning.
I don't either. It's just it's a culmination of just poor planning. I think the analytics of everything has gotten too much. I think the analytics at first were a good thing for things like pitch counts and things like that. If you work this guy into the pitch count, he did a better thing. But what now we're seeing is they're saying, oh, the home run works better here. You go swing for the fences.
Yep.
You know, they're not saying out there, you know, hey, hit the ball to the opposite field. Let's get, you know, there's a guy. I mean, I can't even tell you, watching the game the other day, there was a guy on third, 1 out, and the guy struck out, and I'm like, all you have to do is put the fucking bat on the ball.
Yeah.
And it was obvious he was swinging for the fucking fences. Like, I'm just like, put the bat on the ball so you can score that guy.
Right.
I mean, that's how you win games, right? Is scoring runs. More runs than the other team has is how you win a game. And it's like they don't even care about that kind of thing.
Well, it's like it's been taken out of the game. Like it seems like the strategy of the game has been changed to, I guess, not put a focus on manufacturing runs.
Yeah.
Being able to take advantage of every situation that you have. If you have the guy on second, you obviously are, you know, you're looking to make the big play of hitting it out of the ballpark and scoring all the runs at once rather than taking what's given to you. And, you know, hitting it to the gap to try to advance the guy to third or whatever.
Yeah,
you know, hit it to the right side of the field, for God's sakes, and give him a chance to advance on the ground out, or however.
Yeah.
It's just, there's no, this is where I get staunch old baseball guy of, I love the dingers, I love the home runs, I love the attitude, all of that. However, you also have to have some strategy.
That's what
you
I'm saying.
also have to learn how this all works. There is zero excuse for a Major League Baseball team, in my opinion, to ever have a guy on third base with 0 or 1 out and not score that run.
Yeah, absolutely zero.
Zero.
I mean, and the thing is, there's things that should be brought together. You're saying, like, we don't want you swinging for the fences. Like, okay, don't deaden the baseball. First off, was a pretty stupid mistake, I think.
Well,
but you got to bring that back into that. Not just doing that, but have these players and have them just start manufacturing the runs as well. You can't just have both, because what you're going to do is everybody's going to swing for the fences, and you're just going to have this. Strikeouts are going to be through the freaking roof like they are. I mean, there's guys striking out at crazy clips.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you got guys going 1 for 28 and striking out 20 times. I'm like, and they're making $20 million a year. I mean, it's just
in the month of April in Major League Baseball, there were well over 1,000 more strikeouts than there were hits.
Yeah.
It's the first time in Major League Baseball that gap has ever been so large. Think about that. Over 1,000 more strikeouts than hits.
Yeah.
It's just the term professional hitter is a rarity in Major League Baseball. Like, I can't even give you an example of one.
I mean, the only one
Freddie Freeman?
Well, he just went out a clip where he was 1 for 28 as well. I mean, DJ LeMahieu is a professional hitter.
Yeah.
I mean, he hits the ball all over the field.
Yeah.
You know, takes advantage of that short porch and he hits opposite field like he did the other day. It was like a pop fly that went out, and I was like, yay.
Now, am I saying we need to go back to the days where we have, less athletic gentlemen playing the game? No.
Are you saying we should bring back steroids?
No. I mean, I wouldn't.
Because
hate
I
it.
am.
I wouldn't hate it if we did.
Bring it on.
I really wouldn't hate it if we did.
Yeah.
Because to me, I mean, that's what sells. And Major League Baseball, like we've been saying, is at a crux right now.
Yeah.
And this was part of that State of Baseball article that came out on ESPN. Was basically baseball needs to decide what it wants to be.
Yes. That's
okay.
We're in this flux period of where baseball isn't figuring out like exactly what's happening. They're trying too hard to go one way when they should be going maybe another.
See, I disagree.
Talk to me.
I think it's in a state of flux right now because they have to find a way. They have to find a way to make the game more interesting for everyone. It's just basic facts. I mean, there's a reason that the sport is dying and younger fans aren't getting into it, because it's missing some of the bravado and the things that sell. See, we're stuck as baseball people in this mindset of the game is the way it is and it should never change. And that if you can't play within our framework of how we see the game, then it's wrong. And I think that's very misguided because you have to advance. You have to be progressive, dare I say, with your sport. You have to learn ways to get more people involved. And I think some of the things that they're doing are working.
Like
the extra inning rule.
I mean, I'm not against the extra inning rule.
The extra inning
rule. There was
rule,
a topic. Did you? That's for another time. Listen. So I think that we need to dive into these players like Bryce Harper, Fernando Tatis, these guys who are exuberant and bringing them. They need to have players like this, and they need to allow this kind of thing to happen.
Yep.
The kid we talked about it on the ESPN radio show, 880. And 1400 AM, 92.9 FM on your radio dial and on all iHeart Media apps. I didn't get that out very well, but I tried.
That was a struggle, but it was a good opportunity for a promo there.
Anyway, so the guy for the actual tourist who hit his second home run in 2 at-bats and threw the goddamn bat higher than anything I've ever seen in my life. I want to see more of that.
Luis Santana.
Luis Santana. I want to see more of that. I want to see Tatis every time he hits a home run stare at how far it goes. I want to see these kind of things happen. I want to see pitchers get pumped up when they have bases loaded and they strike out that guy and they don't let a scoring run. And I don't want them to be upset with him and throw the damn baseball at him afterwards. I want them to steer into that. All these old-time rules where you can't do this and you can't do that, and it's because it's an old-time baseball. Get rid of all that shit.
Right.
Like, if someone throws at a guy, suspend the fucking guy for a half a year. Like, get him out of the fucking game. You're basically assaulting someone where you can fucking murder them, and that's not a fucking lie.
Right.
Because he flipped a fucking bat, give me a break. Like, I want to see more of these guys so they can be elevated. And I think that when you have more stars, especially in a league like where you have Mike Trout, who could be the best player in the fucking game, never seen because he's in LA.
Yeah.
You know, you have to create megastars. The way that basketball has done, which is kind of not working out because they open their mouth too much when they got a platform. But, you know, I want them to steer into this. There should be Fernando Tatis should be on the cover of every baseball magazine, thrown out there. He should be in every fucking commercial talking about, come watch baseball, come do this. This guy's an exciting player to watch. Even Bryce Harper, as much of a douchebag as he is, I want to see more of that. I would like to see more enthusiasm out of these players that have been basically poo-pooed upon for years because it's not the proper baseball etiquette. Does it hurt the product? No. Does it help the product? Yes. That's what I want to see. When you find things that work and what helps, and it's been proven to work, like people are out there saying, yeah, I want to see more of that, but they're still trying to stop that.
Right.
And that's where I'm getting at. Like, come on.
See, that's one of the things, though, that I can't get on board with. Because I still kind of like the childish, I'm going to hit you with this if you keep beating me.
That's so stupid.
I know it's stupid. I know it's childish, but it's part of it. It's part of the game of, I'm going to hit you because I don't like what you did.
I know.
And then I just want to see the fight.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just want to see the fight.
Well,
I mean, you're still going to have tempers boil over. I get it. It's still going to be a thing. But that's still part of the mystique for me.
Yeah. It just seems to get off my lawn to me. It does. It just seems so. It's like Brian McCann standing at home base after you stared at a home run for too long and, bro, you can't come through my home plate because I can't believe you showed up my pitcher. Like, get out of here. Gone.
I'm not saying I agree with it, but I'm saying it adds a little spice to the game. It really does. But it's stupid, and I know it's stupid. And here's the thing, I don't think it's ever going to change.
No,
there are still always going to be pitchers who are going to take offense if you're going to show them up and stare at your home runs and all of that. But I think also that needs to be able to go the other way. Like, if you're gonna allow that shit, then get ready, because here comes the pitchers.
Yeah.
Because the pitchers are going to start having celebrations after they strike out the side.
And I'm okay with that. I love it. I love seeing a guy get pumped up. Like he strikes out the side. Yeah, I love that. And then I don't want the opposing pitcher coming up in there and now throwing at that guy because he looked up that. That's what I'm saying. Right. That's what happens nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
It's so dumb. Like, I'm so tired of these rules that are old school rules that obviously aren't working for baseball anymore. I mean, come on. Like, and we got to do something about these shifts. It's just not, that's something new that I don't like. You
don't like the shift. You don't like being able to load the right side of the field. See, here's the thing. If you don't like the shift, learn how to fucking beat it. To me, it shouldn't be that hard. I mean, I understand it's hard.
Have you ever tried to hit a 95 mile per fastball?
I understand the mechanics of baseball are hard, but what I'm saying is, if you're really good at your job, you need to figure out how to make that shit work.
Yeah, and I agree. I think.
And if you can't beat it, then sorry, that's.
Well, and that's what they need to do. They basically, they need to have it where if they shift every single time, everybody needs to fucking bump the ball down the third baseline.
Well, let's say people are calling for a shift, an anti-shift rule. You can't have more than two guys on either side of the second base bag.
I can see, and I don't see that. Those are adjustments that are fine. Like if you know a guy pulls, you always kind of tend to slide your adjustments over based on the hitter. Mm-hmm. But putting every fucking player on the field on one side of the field I don't like it. Yeah. And I know maybe I'm talking about off both sides of my mouth because I'm saying here I want one thing and here I don't want another. But I'm at a loss because I don't know what they can do to fix everything that's going on right now. And right now we're going to have a point to where we're going to have 8 billion strikeouts and
and a whole shitload of home runs.
Yeah. Can't wait till football. How about that? I'm getting to that point. And I know it's not good for what we do here.
But part of me also feels like this is consumable. This is a product that is now being more consumable, but not in the way that Major League Baseball wants it to be. See, baseball wants to look at the world as if it's still the slow-moving 1920s, where you're going to sit down and you're going to watch 9 innings of baseball. That's not how the world works for most people. Like, I'm a really big sports fan. It's all I do.
Yeah.
All I do.
Yeah.
And I can't keep up. I can't keep up with every game that's going on at the same time. How do we ingest a sport that, every sport that gives us so much when we can't invest the time?
Yeah.
It's the snippets. It's the highlights.
Yeah.
You've got to give me what's going on. Give me the pertinent information of what's happening.
And again,
and here's the thing. This makes it way easier to keep up with shit of how things are going in baseball because it seems like every other day now we have a no-hitter.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had 4 already this season.
Yeah.
There were 4 in the entire year of 2019.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you what, we'll probably see 4 more. The way things are going, and I think it's good for baseball. People saying that no-nos are bad for baseball, they don't understand what they're talking about. Well, there's one of the things that is such a rarity in things. It's kind of like I'd like to see a no-no. I'd like to see a guy hit 3 home runs in a game. I'd like to see a guy hit for the cycle. I'd like to see a guy, what would be really awesome? Stolen bases.
Right.
What happened to the stolen base? I mean, I'm telling you, it's not like Ricky Henderson was the fastest person in the world and never had another player that played baseball that's as fast as him.
Right.
The guy had 100 stolen bases a goddamn year, and now the leader in the fucking clubhouse at the end of the year has like 14. I mean, what the hell? Like, make it exciting. Right. That's the part of it. Like, you're caught stealing. All the analytics of baseball says if you try to get caught stealing here, then it doesn't do this and that and then another thing.
Right.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off.
You gotta
these guys. I'm sorry. There's guys that can still steal bases.
Absolutely.
And they're told not to because they don't want to get out of the inning. What happens if he steals that base? Oh my God! And then you get a base hit.
Yeah.
And that guy scores a run.
Yeah.
Holy shit! That's an amazing idea.
That's right.
God.
It's like the major basics of baseball just get completely forgotten at the major league level, and I think that's part of the big disconnect for people is like, we loved baseball growing up as kids. We loved playing baseball, loved learning about the game and how to score runs and how to manufacture runs and how to advance runners. And there's so many things about baseball that, there's an art to it.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like it's just, there's no time for that anymore.
Yep.
It's about get up there, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, take your strikeout or hit a home run and be done with it.
Yeah.
Because I know this is how I'm going to make millions of dollars.
Yeah. And the baseball's spinning a lot more. The pitchers are able, but
it's also, to me, it's making things go quicker.
Yeah.
It's making the games go quicker. You don't have to, guys aren't making contact with the ball as much as they used to. So you're not seeing a lot of runners get stranded. Well, I mean, you are seeing a lot of runners get stranded. But what I'm saying is, like, you have, I feel like there are fewer base runners.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going up there and they're either striking out or they're getting the big hit.
Yeah.
They're getting one all the way to the wall or they're, flying out real quick. I feel like the game is moving faster.
Opposite field line drive over, I was a left-handed batter.
Yep.
Opposite field line drive over the shortstop is where I made my living. That's what I like to do. Nobody does that. Nobody hits opposite field no more. They don't move runners ahead. They try to pull it down the line or they try to pull it up to get, go down the line, or they try to bomb it up as high as they can. And it's getting to a point where it's I want baseball to be fun.
You want it to be fun, but you don't want it to change? That doesn't make sense to me.
That's not true.
Okay.
I want changes to be made for the allowing of the players to be more individuals and have fun out there. Those kind of things.
Right.
I don't like the analytics of the game that are changing these things where you have 9 guys on one side of the field.
Right.
Or it doesn't make sense for you to do this at this point in this game with a 3-2 count after the guy has thrown his 57th pitch in the game. And if he throw after 57 pitches, he can't do this. So try to hit a home run as opposed to try to get this guy scoring over here.
Right.
I mean, that's what it's come down to. It's like they have booklets and booklets and booklets of things that after every little detail of it. How about just going out there and saying, hey, I know this pitcher. I got a pretty good routine on him.
Right.
I know what he likes to pitch after on his second pitch. I know he likes to start fastball and then he tries to come inside on a curveball. I know he does this. That's what it used to be like. But now we don't. We have 45 fucking booklets of it because we don't know if it's his 57th pitch, his 16th pitch, or his 98th pitch.
Right. Scouting reports have become completely, I want to say overused. You rely too much on the analytics.
Yes.
And that, you become a slave to the numbers at that point. I don't know. To me, there's something to be said for playing the old school way of, not going out there swinging for the fences. Working a count, looking for the opportunities.
Getting a walk. A walk is usually pretty good.
Right.
A leadoff walk, and he usually leads to a run.
But it's not sexy.
On a good percentage of the time. What's more sexy? What's more sexy than winning games?
Right.
Like, that's what I want. I want to win games. If I'm a fucking team, I want to win the game. I don't want to say, I'm going to waste this because of this analytic bullshit that I just read from some computer geek who's never played a game of baseball in his entire life.
Right. I love the tack that some baseball writers take too of baseball's trying all of these new things, but it's not working. It's not bringing anybody in. What we should be doing is, literally the quote is, highlight all the great things baseball is, not what it isn't. Huh? Okay, well, wait a minute.
I'm not a very smart man.
If baseball is what it is and you don't change it, how are you supposed to get new people to come into the fold? That's what I don't understand. There's a way. I believe that there's a way to make baseball a whole lot more fun, and that's, as you said, get rid of the unwritten rules crap. I'm not saying let everybody use steroids, but stop trying to deaden the ball when guys are hitting. Stop trying to move the pitcher's mound back so there are fewer runs created. Yeah. That's not what people want to see. Mm-hmm. People want to see big hits.
We have to have a happy medium of speeding up the game,
right,
but making a good product along with it. And we haven't caught that medium yet, and it might take a couple years, but I think it starts with, what analytics they should do? Look at what people are talking about that they like and use that. Mm-hmm. And what people don't like, Don't use that.
We had a request from one of our subscribers. Tommy didn't tell me who it was, but somebody had requested that we talk about the extra inning rule, just to explain a little further how the extra inning rule actually works. Well, I mean, this came about, they came up with the idea, instead of going through and having these 16, 18 inning marathon games, a way to get this done is to put an extra runner on, spot everybody a runner. It's completely fair play. Once you go into extra innings, everybody's going to get a guy spotted on second base.
With one out, correct?
No.
No?
No.
Oh.
No,
I always thought it was one out.
No, you still get 3 outs.
Well, see, that's how much I fucking pay attention.
They didn't change it that much. But they're putting the guy on second base.
Okay.
And how that rule works is if you made the last out in the last inning, or you were the last batter in the last inning, then you are the guy that goes to second base.
Okay.
That's the guy who starts out.
Okay.
So,
makes sense.
Right.
Keeps the flow of the batting order.
Right.
You don't have to mess it all up.
Even if you, even when you struck out to end the bottom of the 9th inning, when you come up in the bottom of the 10th inning, you're going to be the guy on second base. Right.
And they're going to end up every single time, if it's someone who's slower, pinch running for that guy, but that takes that guy out of the game.
More than likely.
Yeah.
But then, if that runner scores, it does not affect the pitcher's earned run average.
Okay, that was the main question from Tommy's friend, was wondering about the is it an unearned run? Is it an earned run?
It is an unearned run.
Okay.
So that doesn't affect the pitcher's stats. It obviously affects the outcome of the game, but it's not an earned run because the guy didn't earn his way onto base. So that's the.
And then they get to the bottom half of the inning, and they got a guy on second base as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody gets spotted a runner.
Yeah.
It's just a way to try to get these games over quicker. Just
and Kevin
manufacture that guy. And that's the thing that pisses me off, is like you'll still see some games where this doesn't work.
Yeah.
And you'll see teams go through 3 innings of not getting the guy from you're spotted a guy and running in
and you know why?
position.
It's because they're not laying down a fucking bunt to get him to third base and then hitting a sac fly to fucking get the guy to home to score a run.
Right.
And then trusting that your pitching staff will be able to stop the guy in the bottom of the half inning. Yeah. Holy shit. It's a crazy idea.
It's an insane idea, but no, it does not affect the pitcher as far as earned runs go. It is an earned run if the guy from second base
and I like
score.
Those kind of things. And I think overall, the idea of that is people like this idea.
Yeah.
So let's move forward with that idea.
Yeah.
What other ideas aren't working? What other things aren't working for baseball? And then you take those ideas and you throw them in the fucking trash. That's the thing. You got to start looking at these things and start it like a marketing plan. You need to market baseball. So what do you do when you're a marketer? You look at things that work. Does this work for our company? No, this does not work. So let's not do that again.
Right.
Okay, this seems to have worked. Oh, let's go all in on that and steer into that skid. So these kind of things are what they need to do to make things work in baseball. But it seems like every time we find something that is like I got a feeling in the next year they're going to get rid of this rule.
Right.
They'll figure out some way. They'll be like, oh, it wasn't really working. And because 8 old people are voting on it like they are in the fucking Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and
like those guys. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens aren't in the Hall of Fame. Dumb.
Yeah.
Real dumb.
And I've said this before, and I think things are starting to take a turn for we have to figure out a way to make this a more marketable sport. Because I mean, I agree with you when you say that Fernando Tatis Jr. needs to be on every baseball magazine. Sure. But, I mean, I think there needs to be more than that. I mean, you need to have more than just one star.
You need to have every player that's marketable like that, and you need to allow him to be able to do these kind of things, bring excitement to the ball game.
Right.
Like, I mean, gosh, I just want to see players I want to see more Charlie Hustles. I want to see more of that, and I know that comes
those
from
guys
old
don't
school.
exist anymore.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
that's a generational thing that I don't think there's a player born today that is built with that mindset.
I don't know. It's like Albies the other day tries to stretch a single into a double, and he got lambasted for it. I like that. You're down, you're trying to get a run, you're trying to get the puck. You know what that does? Is that guy gets to that second base and he stretches that to a double. Do you know what it does? Have you ever watched the movie Major League? I mean, that's what happened when Willie Mays Hayes got to second base. The whole goddamn bench went crazy, and next thing you know, they end up winning the goddamn World Series. Right. And that's the thing. You want to do these kind of things. I like that idea. I like players trying to take extra bases. I like players stealing bases. Right. I like players going from first to third because the guy hit an opposite field. And then that guy, you know what? It was the first third after a walk. He walked the first guy. Right. You know, and then you got him over to third because you hit it on the opposite side of the field. And then you know what you can do? Pop fly to left field, and that guy scores a run. And now you have a run. And then you can do it another inning, and you can score another run.
Right. It's the one thing that the New York Mets have not figured out how to do in fucking 60 years of baseball.
Jacob Degrom, I'm so sorry.
Oh,
this guy has a .51 ERA, and has he won a game? What is his record? Because I don't
know. I don't know off the top of my head what his record is. But I mean, the guy gets absolutely no run support.
Zero run support.
What was it? He struck out 10 the other night, gave up a run, and they lost 2-1.
Yeah. I mean, he came off the field with an injury in the fifth, and he still already struck out 7.
Right. I don't know what else you want.
He's 3 and 2. Which, I mean, I thought it was actually worse than that. I thought he was like 1 and 6. This guy should be. He could be the best pitcher in baseball with a sub-1 ERA, and this guy could have a .500 record. He could be 13 and 13 because the Mets don't figure out how to score a goddamn run when he's pitching.
Right.
You know how you score runs? You manufacture them. I'm sorry, I'm going crazy a little bit, but I just can't.
And with all that money you spent as well.
Yeah.
Just it makes you wonder where the mindset is right now. And it also makes me question, once they get to the major league level, how much managing is actually being done. I mean, is it just because of the fact that the guys are millionaires now and they won't listen to coaching?
Greene said it the other day. You know, he's going through this whole thing on the radio about how he could be a coach of the Dodgers and they could still win the World Series. Because he's like, what is Dave Roberts actually doing up there?
Right.
But he's not, because, again, the bench coach has got 75 fucking pages of analytics, and he's just telling Dave Roberts when to take this guy out, when to pinch hit him, when to do this. Dave Roberts isn't doing anything but listening to the goddamn analytics coach on the bench. Right. I mean, they're not doing it anymore. They're just figureheads up there.
And I think it's even more shocking coming from a guy who, without taking one of the biggest risks in Red Sox franchise history.
Yeah. He stole that base. You remember that? I remember that very fondly. I'm a Yankees fan. I know what happened. Yeah.
He steals the base, and it changed the entire series.
Yeah.
And that's where the historic comeback came in. Coming back from 3 games to none
Steals
down in
the base. They
ALCS.
manufactured a run to win the game by stealing a base. They didn't care that if he got thrown out. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That was their best chance to win the game. Oh.
Yeah.
Baseball.
Adam Black says baseball is baseball. People who love it and those who don't simply won't, no matter what you do.
And he's saying, sure, get your players more out there for advertising. He's saying that basically no matter what you do, you're going to have this, people are going to like baseball or they're not. And I don't think that that's necessarily true, because there was time where it's not that long ago that the NBA was in the dumpsters. You know what I mean?
They're kind of there now.
They made their way back up, though. And it's not because...
Have you seen the ratings? The ratings aren't great.
Yeah, well, that's because they let people, be their own person. See, there's the dilemma.
I don't. Of course, there's not an easy fix for baseball. If there was an easy fix for baseball, they would have already fixed it.
And I mean, I tried to start saying this the other day. I think there's something to be said about people cutting cords on TV. There's not as much. There's a lot of people that don't even have ESPN who watch SportsCenter every single day anymore. Mm-hmm. There's not someone who sits at home and watches Sunday Night Baseball anymore, because they don't even have a cable package. They just watch Netflix and they watch these things. And then they figure out some way to stream the live game or whatever they want to watch. Right. I think there's something to be said about that as well. People aren't consuming that sort of product as much as they used to. Mm-hmm. I mean, Back in the day, we woke up every single day and watched SportsCenter to see the highlights. We watched baseball tonight to see the web gems. We watched them to see the going, gone.
Exactly.
Like, these are the things that we're missing from today's society as well.
Right, but that's also what drives the number.
Yeah.
That's also what drives, like I said, you can't keep up with, 30 teams in Major League Baseball going at once, so what do you watch? The highlights.
Yeah.
How does the player get on the highlights? He ain't going to get one for hitting a can of corn.
Yeah, but you know what he would do? You know what he'd do if he hit a guy opposite field and he was gone second and the guy scored the game-winning run? You know what? He's on the goddamn highlight.
No, you're not wrong.
So
it's just too much. It's too much of the sex sells mentality.
Oh, it's so beefy.
But this year, shockingly enough, there is more parity in baseball this year than there has been in quite a while. 538.com put out an analytic yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah. I said, oh, yeah.
That said that right now in Major League Baseball, there are five teams in Major League Baseball right now that are on pace for 95 wins.
Oh, God. Nobody's on pace for 100 wins.
There are only 3 teams who are on pace for 65 or fewer.
Okay, so they're saying most people are going to be in that 70 to 80 game range.
So right now there's so many teams that are locked up in the middle of baseball right now.
Okay,
it's one of the years that has the most parity that we've ever seen. Now, granted, we're very early in the season and we think that things can change, but we're coming up on the quarter pole here.
Yeah.
We're quickly coming up on the quarter pole, and I think
I always quickly come up on my quarter pole.
Would you come on? I knew that was coming. I should have known that you were going to have some kind of nasty joke to throw in there.
You say pole, and I'm going to have to do something with it. I mean, can't just let that one fly.
But the whole thing is that, while there's nobody running away with it right now.
No.
Everybody expected the Dodgers were going to continue on their hot streak when they started out the season 13-2.
Yeah, and then they went.
And now they've ended up, back under 500 right now, or excuse me, just above 500. Yeah. They're 18 and 17.
Then we were lambasting the Yankees, and now they're in second place. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think there's been a lot of. For example, NL East was supposed to be really, really good this year. They're kind of all in that. But I think that everybody suffered a lot of injuries. They're still getting stuff going on. They're figuring out what happened. I think that when we do hit, and maybe what I need to do is just kind of sit back and let things happen. And then maybe post All-Star break, kind of get into it. And then, I still love playoff baseball. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's a different atmosphere, and I think maybe when we can get all the fans in the stadiums and everything like that, it'll change some things as well.
Do you think what we've been talking about, the fact that we've had this, this rash of swinging for the fences and everybody trying to hit the home run and striking out so much, do you think that will level off during the season? Because I don't.
I still think this is going to be the best year of the pitcher since what was the year of the pitcher? 1969 is that what they say? The year of the pitcher was?
Yeah.
When it was just like 45,000 guys had like 21 seasons. And it was a different era back then. But, I mean, you're not going to see that because they, every guy that went out there and pitched threw a complete game and pitched every 4 days.
Right.
They don't have 5-man rotations and set up guys and this guys and this guy. I think we're going to see the same thing happen all year long.
But do you discount the achievements because they're happening in an era where guys are swinging for the fences and they're not,
because
they're not getting on base? Because the pitchers are racking up incredible stats right now. I mean, hell, we had the Corbin Burnson that started out the season not giving up any walks. Striking out 10 batters a game kind of thing. Yeah, whatever his damn name was.
Tyler Corbin?
No, Corbin Burns.
Oh, Corbin Burns,
yeah. The kid from Milwaukee that started out the year with 50 innings or whatever it was,
but he walked
without
like
giving up a walk
guys.
or something like that.
I mean, when you say accomplishments don't happen, accomplishment is something that actually happens. So yes, it happened. I don't discount it because it actually fucking happened. You can't discount something that actually happens.
I'm saying, do you hold them to a different standard? Like, oh, we're getting, like Max Scherzer. Yeah, the other day he struck out 14 of your Yankees, and it was his 100th double-digit strikeout game.
Yeah.
Which puts him in some elite company. Now, I'm not trying to take a shot at Max Scherzer. He's an all-time great pitcher, in my opinion. But, do you look at that and go, yeah, well, it kind of happened. It's like people look at the home run records. It was a different era of baseball.
I don't give a crap about what era it is that happened. Okay. I love the era of steroids. It was awesome. Baseball would have never even been back. If you remember correctly, if it wasn't for Sosa and McGuire, people did not want to watch it because there was a goddamn strike the year before, and they were like, fuck baseball. And then all of a sudden, you have these two guys out here bombing fucking home runs every time they get up, and everybody got back into baseball. So I don't want to hear about the errors and the things like that. Back in the day, these guys were taking speed every single day so they can get up. I mean, Christ, Mickey Mantle was half drunk before he got up every single game. Right. They took speed, and these guys they did everything they could do to get an advantage they've been doing since the beginning of time. Yep. I don't look at any sort of errors. Yes, okay, with the steroid error, how many pitchers were taking steroids so that they could throw the ball a little bit faster? I mean, there was the things are what they are. I don't care. I want to see good product in the field, and I don't care how you do it. It's not like I look back at that and say, oh, baseball didn't exist during the steroid era because they were taking steroids. No, it existed. It happened. They had games. They had World Series champions. Right. They had records that were on there. Right. And go ahead and put a fucking asterisk on it. I don't give a shit. They still fucking happened. Right. And now we have but we can't let them in the Hall of Fame, even though like Barry Bonds had fucking 19 goddamn MVPs before, and Roger Clemens won 4 fucking Cy Youngs before all this happened. But no, they can't be in it because they use steroids. Boo!
I'm fully with you. Times are changing in baseball, and I think we're getting to that point. I honestly do. And I've said this before, but the thing that points to me is the guys that they're putting in charge.
And Adam Black said something I agree on, and I'm sorry to interrupt you on that. But shorten the season. I've been talking about this for a long time. 162 games is a fucking eternity. Like, you don't need that. And then it's like crazy because you know what I don't like? I don't like seeing a World Series decided because there's a goddamn blizzard outside either. So if you shorten the season, you could probably have a baseball game in goddamn September where it's not fucking snowed out. It's not. These things are very easy to figure out. I don't understand. It's not like I guarantee you're going to have more people watch more games if you shorten a season than having more. It's not like football. Adding an extra game of football, guess what? There's going to be a lot more eyes on that, and they're going to make more money off it. Right. But in baseball, you're not making more money because no one gives a crap about the regular season because it is 162 games long. That is one of the things that they need to do 100%. When they went from 144 to 162 games, I don't think it changed anything other than records were being broken and things were changing up like that. And I think that added all these extra players to these things. I don't need this guy coming in the 8th inning to throw one pitch to a guy, get the guy out. You don't need all these things. If you have shortened season, then you won't have as many injuries and you won't have as many things happen. And I think the product gets better. And that's 100% a thing that baseball needs to do is say, you know what? Let's shorten this season. I would be, even if they started but going back to 144, would be the simple plan for me to start a thing.
I think, It runs afoul of everything that you're taught about business, though. And that's the thing that the owners can't get. They'll never do it. They'll never shorten the season because what does that mean? Less revenue. That means less games that are going to go on television. That means less gates that you're going to get the attendance for.
How many people are showing up to a mid-fucking-July game or mid-August game in Florida right now?
You'd be surprised. Well, I mean, not in Miami. Obviously. Obviously, there are some teams that are not going to draw well, but you really want to go to the New York Yankees and say, we want to take away 20 of your home games?
Well, that's a different story because the Yankees are actually good.
I know, but that's
not in a long time.
But that's what keeps the imbalance. What keeps the imbalance is you got these smaller teams that might might go for a shorter season if they understand that they'll be able to create some urgency with fans to be able to get there to see all of the games. They'll be able to sell out more games if they have fewer inventory to sell. You don't go to the Boston Red Sox, into the New York Yankees, into the LA Dodgers, into the on and on and on.
I get
all
it.
of these teams that are selling out their stadiums and go.
And you're not wrong.
You're just not going to get 20
wrong
games
with
this
that.
year.
You're not wrong with that. I still think the product will be better.
Oh, I agree with you.
And you got me all worked up and my fucking blood pressure. I'm sweating like a fucking whore in church. I'm drinking coffee, all because of baseball.
You know what? But it's been like a solid hour of baseball talk, and I feel just kind of
it's kind of what's the word? Lethargic or cathartic? Cathartic. Yeah, I'm not a very smart man. But
no, the lethargic is what happens after you eat lunch. By the way.
What are we having for lunch? What
are we doing for lunch today?
What are we doing for lunch today?
All right. Anyway, we don't have solutions for baseball. We're just fans, and we want to help. We want to see the game get more interesting and get more eyeballs because we're attached to it.
Yeah.
We like it, and we want more people to be all about it.
Yep.
I love The Last Dance.
The Last Dance was one of the best things I've ever seen in my entire life.
I think it was the greatest documentary I've ever seen.
I was dead in the middle of that. I was in the high school.
Okay.
91 to 97 or 99, whenever those 6 championship games were right in my wheelhouse of me growing up when I was in high school.
91 to 98.
So, if you weren't a basketball fan, if you weren't a Chicago Bulls fan, to be honest with you, I was a Bulls fan. You had to. I had family in Chicago. I'd go to they'd always send me something.
Nice.
That whole thing was awesome. Not to mention, it just brought it in depth because I think people had forgotten how incredibly good Michael Jordan was.
I was one.
Yeah. You forgot.
I was one. I forgot.
You forgot how insanely driven this guy was to be the absolute best player on. Like he hated, like Jeremy said yesterday, he hated losing more than he loved winning, and was something that you didn't see. He practiced harder than he played in game. He expected everything from you. Watching that series was awesome. And now we've got a new one coming out. Hulu has scored an Untitled Lakers docuseries.
Okay. It's going to be a 9-part series on the Hulu Originals feed. And it's going to be the last 40 years of Laker basketball.
I love it.
It's basically the story of when Dr. Buss bought the team in 1979 all the way to today.
So we're not going so deep into...
It's going to be the rise and the fall and the rise again and then the fall again and then the final rise.
I mean, just think about all the stuff you're going to get Wilt's championship in there, right? His one fucking championship, I think he won. You're going to get that when they finally defeated the Lakers, or when they finally defeated the Celtics dynasty. After every year of trying.
You got the Showtime Lakers.
You're going to get the whole how we got Kareem Abdul. They got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. How they ended up with the #1 pick and got Magic Johnson. How they ended up with the #3 pick and got James Worthy. Like I don't understand how this thing's how all that worked. I'd like to see that because I honestly forgot how all that worked because I look back on it and I'm like, how do they do that?
Yeah.
How are you a championship team and getting top 3 picks from the trades you're getting? And I understand that, but I want to see the whole Showtime because another series that I like, the Lakers versus Celtics that was on HBO. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was super good, and we're going to see that whole thing because
that was a 30 for 30, wasn't it?
I thought it was an HBO series. It was Magic versus Bird or something like that, which basically...
That was the HBO,
yeah. That was the HBO.
There was a 30 for 30 that was like a 7-part series of the Lakers versus the Celtics.
and that was good too.
And that was excellent.
And I like these. I like the in-depth because you get only a snap picture of a lot of these things. I like these ones that go more into depth because those are the things I like. Like the 30 for 30s are fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
And so... Well, this is, and I think this is going to be even more in-depth because...
There's one thing that I'm looking forward to most out of all of this, and it's going to be the Kobe versus Shaq.
Kobe Shaq? Yeah, that's going to be unbelievable.
That's going to be a whole episode of trying to unpile all of the drama that surrounded
what
that
they're going to see
team.
is they're going to see how, the Netflix numbers when that came up for the Last Dance were through the freaking roof. Hulu is about to catch some ratings bonanza. You know what I mean? Like it's going to get crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be really, really, really good. I can't wait to see a lot of it. I know they're probably going to get in depth with Magic about. Think about the trials and tribulations of a Magic Johnson and these kind of stories. You got him being drafted, coming out winning then and then going back and forth with that.
Right.
Then the HIV thing's going to have to be talked about 100%. And then him being the owner and then him being a coach and that failing miserably and all that kind of stuff. I want to see all of that unfold. And then I want to see Phil Jackson come in and be like, yeah, I'm going to take another team to another three-peat. Right. And then I want to see when they talk about how the fucking Pistons came in and just beat the shit out of the loaded Gary Payton, Karl Malone thing because how Shaq and Kobe couldn't get along. I want to see that absolutely blow up in their face.
Absolutely.
I want to see that. And then I want to see the rise again with Kobe because that was incredible. And then I also want to see, because I'm sure it's gonna have some more in-depth stuff about Kobe.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that'll probably be the last 2 episodes of this thing. Will be all about
the transition from
the
Kobe,
legacy of Kobe, the
into
death
LeBron.
of Kobe, and then it's gonna be the championship that came after Kobe.
Yeah, and I just think if you are a basketball fan or even a sports fan alike, you're going to be glued to the TV set for these things. It's going to be something you're going to watch.
And here's the other thing I'm looking so much forward to is just being more exposed to the West Coast basketball thing. Because I'll be honest with you, I've always lived in the world of East Coast bias.
Right.
I mean, West Coast teams, you could fall off into the ocean for all I care. So like, I was, a grown sports fan before I started to learn anything about the West Coast teams. Because as I was raised as a sports fan, it was all about East Coast sports. It was, we were Tar Heel fans, so of course we were all lumped into the Michael Jordan dynasty with the Chicago Bulls. And the West Coast, I just never really got.
Yeah.
Because it was so late at night and there was no interest in those teams. And so I like learning about new things that I didn't hear before. And and I can't wait to find out what the stories behind some of the great moments in Laker history are. Because I think it's one of those things that's hard for people on the East Coast to really get ingrained in West Coast teams. I've always been baffled by how many West Coast teams or West Coast fans there are living on the East Coast. How can you possibly live in Asheville, North Carolina and be a fan of the LA Dodgers?
Yeah.
Do you never sleep? Are you a fucking insomniac?
Yeah. It's tough. It's got to be tough. I mean, I wouldn't want to be, or necessarily being on the opposite side of that, being on the West Coast and being an East Coast fan. Because, Christ, you can't even get off of work in time to watch Monday Night Football. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy out there. I mean, these are certain sports, certain things, West Coast. Me being my age, the Lakers and the Celtics were the thing, that dynasty, those things were part of what made me such a huge sports fan. Those rivalries, that was part of the thing growing up. I mean, I'm a Yankees fan, and the Yankees sucked in the 80s. Real bad. Other than Don Mattingly, favorite baseball player. Love him. Donnie Baseball, my man. But
that was the one time of I wish I knew you when.
Yeah.
Because we could have enjoyed that misery together.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just you have those when you're growing up, that Lakers Celtics thing is what defined a lot of us early 40-year-old sports fans. And it's going to be awesome to see. Like you say, I love those moments that you don't ever get to see in the front. You don't get to see unless you read tons and tons of books. And let's be honest, I can't.
Nobody reads books.
I can't read. So we just try to do what we can. So we're not there. So the thing is, I'm really excited for that. Yep.
So the Hulu documentary series, again, it is Untitled, 9-part original docuseries on the Los Angeles Lakers, the Dr. Buss years.
Yep, I'm all in on it.
Absolutely, it's going to be one of those things that we look forward to constantly. Last night I feel like we should mention. Yesterday we talked about Russell Westbrook on the program, and last night he broke the record.
Yeah.
Last night he has officially passed Oscar Robertson with the most triple doubles in an NBA career with 182.
Wow.
And he ain't done.
Nope. And it's okay. We'll get in the playoffs and do something. Maybe I'll be okay with.
Maybe you'll be okay. Maybe you'll care. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Maybe I'll care. Win a playoff game.
Oh, are you taking Jeremy's stance of if you don't win championships, then you don't matter?
I mean, you're the one who said Charles Barkley was a top 10 player of all time yesterday. So you must think otherwise. Oh, I'm still steamed about that, Tank.
Sorry.
Still steamed up about that one.
He's close.
If you call 18 or 19 close.
Actually, 17.
17.
I went through after the show. I went through after the show, and I made up my own list and made my own ranking of the all-time NBA
I'm
greats.
so glad that you came to your.
He's 17.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I put him. Around that 17, 18, 19.
All right. You just freaked out about me saying that he was like a top 10 player.
Top
and you were
10
like,
was bad.
What the fuck? Like there's a huge difference there.
There is. And all-time rankings, when you're talking about 7 spots, that's a fucking huge gap.
That's a lot.
That's a huge
thousands of players, and how
my
dare
God,
you slot a guy at 7 spots too low?
You're talking about top 10.
All right, here's my top 10.
Okay.
I got MJ LeBron.
Okay.
Kareem Magic. Bird Wilt. Shaq. Kobe, Duncan, Bill Russell. That's my top 10.
I can't disagree with anything you just said.
Okay. From there, I go Hakeem, Oscar Robertson, Steph Curry's my 13.
Okay.
Moses Malone.
Okay.
Karl Malone. Kevin Garnett.
No Karl Malone.
No Karl Malone. Why?
Didn't win a championship.
Oh, my God.
You can't be one of the greatest of all time and not win a championship.
Yes,
you can't.
you can.
No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. You can't.
Yes.
You can't. You cannot. You cannot be considered the greatest of all time in your sport if you never achieved the biggest thing in your sport. You can't. You can't. Sorry, can't.
Dan Marino's not one of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL.
I can name a lot of quarterbacks better than him. Tom Brady's number one. Joe Montana's better than he is. Brett Favre's better than he is. Drew Brees is better than he is. What, you're saying no? Yeah, okay. John Elway's better than he is. I mean, Peyton Manning's better than he is. Go on and on and on. You know, what is that, 6 right there? So he's not one of the, he may be in the top 10, but he's not.
He may be in the top 10. Does that not qualify as one of the greatest of all time?
There's differences. You can't. I'm not a guy who says that mean everything. But when you're talking about being one of the absolute best in your sport, if you don't have the one thing that makes you the best in the sport, like a ring, you cannot be considered one of the best in your sport. You can be in the discussion of the best of the rest, but you can't be in the upper echelon of the best of your sport if you can't even win the goddamn championship.
So we have to rank everyone with rings and then start the next list.
I'm not saying that, because then you're going to start saying, oh, well, then, you know, by your thing, then Alex Caruso, who won a championship last year, is better than... no, you're just taking that and you're using it and changing the fucking narrative of it. And I hate when people do that. I'm sorry, you can't consider Charles Barkley a top 10 player because he never won a championship. You can't consider Dan Marino one of the top 5 quarterbacks of all time because he never won a goddamn championship. You can't.
Again, Karl Malone's 15 on my list. Kevin Garnett, then Charles Barkley. Then I got Dirk, Dr. J, and Jerry West. Are you okay with that?
What?
He's like, he just went into a zone where he's like, oh, fuck.
Wait, did I just talk?
I just lost my shit and I don't know what's going on. No. Last 5. Garnett, Barkley, Dirk, Dr. J, and then Jerry West.
Okay.
You good with that?
I'm not too upset with all that.
You're good with all that?
I'm not too
I tried to squeeze in
Karl
Patrick
Malone,
Ewing but I couldn't do it.
No.
I couldn't squeeze in Patrick Ewing here because he never
I wouldn't put him in my top 20 either. And I'm a goddamn Knicks fan. If he would have won a championship, he probably would have been in the top 20.
I'm glad you can at least be honest with yourself about that. Oh, God, this has been fun. This has been a lot of fun.
Are we going to at least mention fucking Tim F. and Tebow?
I mean, I feel like in passing at the end, we got to throw it in there because everybody is so hot to trot for this Tim Tebow story. They were honestly treating this morning on ESPN Radio like this was, this was just proof of something greater, some greater problem in society that, you can't get a job if you don't know the right people, and Tim Tebow's taking a job from somebody. And
who cares about the undrafted tight end rookie out of Slippery Rock? Guess what? Tim Tebow's not making this goddamn team as a tight end. He's not. He's not. They signed him to bring. Guess what? It's done. This is called business.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What is the lead story going on today? The Jacksonville Jaguars. Who gives a crap about them? But you know what we're doing? We're talking about them because of this. Tim Tebow is not going to make the team this time. They might find his spot. He might. I don't know. He's proven he can do weird things at weird times. Like he actually did pretty decent in AA baseball, which I didn't think he could do. I'm not saying he was awesome. I'm not saying he was great. He did decent.
I mean, he hit just above the Mendoza line.
Yeah, a lot better than I could do.
Well, of course.
I mean, and I don't care about, they're making it sound like because Tim Tebow's coming in, they're taking jobs away from some.
They're picking our jerks.
They're taking a job away from some guy because he's doing this. No, he's not. He's not.
He got brought in to make headlines and to sell fucking tickets.
Yeah, and then like,
you
oh my God.
He's from Jacksonville, right?
They'll sell fucking 8 billion fucking Tim Tebow jerseys and he'll never make the fucking team. And if he makes the team, he's never going to fucking play because he can't. He's not going to figure out how to play tight end in fucking 1 year. They're going to bring him in. He's going to be a spiritual mentor to fucking Trevor Lawrence. Right. And people are like, and this is what you're going to do. They're going to talk about it on the thing because you're going to have the opposite dynamic of what people want to talk about. You're going to have him who's the God-fearing, kneeling for the fucking God, and you're going to talk about this, and it's going to bring up Colin Kaepernick, and then they're going to have shit to talk about for the next goddamn 2 weeks when there's nothing else to talk about.
Oh, God, I haven't even gone down the Colin Kaepernick path yet. Oh, how has that not become a meme yet? Or have I just missed the meme?
Oh, it's already out there.
Is the meme already floating around?
It's already out there. How can you be okay with this and that'll be okay with this? I don't want to fucking hear it.
Oh, my God.
I don't. Listen.
What's hilarious to me is, though, that everybody is treating this like, oh, is this really something that can turn around the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise? No, it's a fucking stunt. They want us. I mean, this is what desperate franchises do. They bring in hometown guys so they can sell jerseys and sell tickets and make friends with the fan base. And what... It's not about, what was it? I think Jeremy posted last night on the Sportsocracy Facebook page of, rewind to 2016. And if you could tell a 16-year-old...
Trevor Lawrence,
16-year-old Trevor Lawrence that he's going to come in and try to save the Jacksonville Jaguars fan base. And in order to do that, he's going to have to throw to single-A baseball player Tim Tebow. Do you think he would rethink his decision and quit football and try to play water polo?
Yeah.
No, at that point, you might consider it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. We're treating this like this is an actual thing. Like
it's not. It's not
like they're actually bringing in Tim Tebow to be a spark plug for this offense. No, this is a fucking stunt to create headlines and to get people talking about it. And then the fact that they just go down this path of, oh, this is a bigger sign of the problems in society that you got to know a guy to get a job and blah, 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 blah. No, you got to stop fucking sitting around and hoarding all the goddamn gas.
Yeah.
That's the solution.
And that is the story of the day. Stop hoarding gas!
For the love of God, we've all got to fill our tanks. We should be responsible with the resources that we have available and not be so goddamn selfish.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to wrap it up here.
Yeah, thank God, because I'm about to have a heart attack.
He's Brian Haynes.
I love y'all.
Hope you can all find some gas today. Join us.
Oh, yeah, I want to throw in Patrick Holt, one of our founding fathers. This is a little snippet of what we do if you become a founding father. We'll help your business put out there. Let's throw that out there for just a second. Patrick Holt, Brothers Barbecue. I want to have some of that damn barbecue, but that's what I'm talking about. That's going to be our ender for today. That's going to be up on YouTube. These are the kind of things that we can help you out. If you become a founding father, we will promote your business for free.
Absolutely. Hit us up, subscribe to the channel here, become a Patreon member, and join us here in the Sportsocracy tomorrow morning. Around 9 o'clock, it'll be me and Caleb Peak in here. Who knows, we might talk some more baseball. Probably will since Jeremy's out of town. It is the Sportsocracy. Again, hit that subscribe button. We are live from the Wicked Weed Studio. WickedWeedBrewing.com. Drink different. Thank you, Patrick, founding father.
That's my dog.
Here's to you, sir.